We're Texas CASA, and we're exploring issues in the foster care system that need fixing and proposing solutions. This is The Fix.
My name is Kate Black. I'm an attorney with Disability Rights Texas. I work out of our Houston office on our foster care team. Disability Rights Texas is a protection and advocacy organization, a P&A, for the state of Texas. So it's our obligation and duty to go in and make sure people with disabilities in the state of Texas are receiving the services and their rights are protected. Disproportionately, we know children with disabilities are in foster care. Just overrepresented people of color, disabilities. One of the reasons is a lack of resources for parents, for biological parents, who can't access the treatment that their kids need. I can't tell you how many times I've been told by an attorney or a CASA that they didn't know the thing I was bringing up was possible. So they didn't know the service was available, they didn't know the rights that the kid had in school, they didn't know Medicaid covered that service. So we bring an expertise that I think other ad litems don't have. We try and disseminate our knowledge because I think it's important that every ad litem and CASA know those things. CASAs in particular serve a really important role for us. We can't coordinate all the care of our kids, so it's really helpful for us to have those volunteers letting us know when there are changes, when there are issues that crop up, and then we can address them in a timely manner. So our foster care team, what happens is the court will identify a disability issue that the attorney ad litem currently on the case just doesn't have the expertise to address. So that can be special education, it can be Medicaid coverage, it can be aging out services like getting those home and community-based services slots, which are so important for our kids with intellectual disabilities. We kind of do a little bit of lots of different areas of the law. I would say coordination of care is the most important thing we do, and I think it's the most important thing I would say needs to be fixed or added or more robust with the teams that we have put together for these kids. That means you're regularly meeting monthly with CASA, with attorneys, someone's calling a psychologist and making sure those things are going well, and we make sure that kids are making their appointments, that they have coverage for the services they need. Often things can get really bogged down in the Medicaid area. We have a special relationship with Superior, which is the managed care organization, and we can kind of take down some of those barriers. An additional thing I would say is that we're seeing the courts overly rely on guardianship. They're applying for guardianship in any case with a kid with a disability. Disability Rights Texas doesn't support guardianships. We support supported decision-making agreements. Guardianship is a civil debt, and it really should only be used if there's no other way for that child to express their needs and wants. So we really try hard to get supported decision-making in place for our clients with cognitive disabilities who might need a little extra support. We try and identify someone who can support them as they transition into adulthood. So I think we would just urge judges, ad litems to really think about, is this an actual need or do we not know what to do and we just want to protect the child? Because there are ways to protect folks going into adulthood that don't take away their civil rights. They can still vote, they can still get married, they can choose where they live, they can choose their medical care. I would like to see people really looking at these guardianships more closely and determining whether they're really needed. For the first 10 years of my career, I was a death penalty lawyer. So I represented death row inmates in their post-conviction proceedings. So they're already on death row and they're in their appeals, usually very close to execution. And I found that I was encountering folks way too late in their lives. They're already on death row, a crime has been committed, they're adults, and I wanted to intervene earlier. I wanted to intervene earlier points in kids' lives when I knew maybe some compassionate intervention could really make a difference and prevent incarceration, prevent institutionalization. So I kind of, with that metaphor, I went up the river to try and see what I could do earlier in the process. We're not isolated people doing different things with these kids. We are all there to support in different ways. And we might have disagreements about what those ways should be. It's my job to represent what the kids want, and CASA what's best for them. So we might have some disagreements there, but working as a group, as a team, especially for kids with disabilities, is the most critical way we can make sure they have the services they need.